Welcome back, y'all. Pokey Lambo here. Today we are going over our 2026 Pokemon portfolio, investment, collection, and it's crazy how it feels like everything changed since last week. And I know last week we were saying the market was crazy, and somehow it managed to get even crazier. And today we're not only talking about what we picked up, but your boy actually sold for the first time. And I think right now is the time, if you don't already have a plan to sell or offload some of your product that's appreciated, I think right now is a good time to experiment and kind of figure out how you would like to sell some of your product moving forward. And for me, I have a LGS that I'm pretty tight with. I really like the owner, and I kind of like the idea of hooking him up because he's hooked us up a ton. So I sold him some of my product at 75%, so that way he could make a nice, healthy return on selling his product to his customers. And we went ahead and we sold one of our Ascended Heroes Pokemon Center Elite trainer boxes, and as we can see here, it went up over $300. So I think that's a good time to sell one of them. My other one I'm planning on holding until it probably gets closer to 10xing. So I don't think that's going to happen for a while, but I really like the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes for the more long time hold. So kept one of them, but couldn't resist. And like I said, I kind of wanted to try it out, see what percentage I could get. And it's nice just because I don't have to deal with tracking people down on Facebook Marketplace and then negotiating prices, and also selling online, like packaging, shipping, having to deal with people and their payments and how they're going to pay. So I decided to go selling it to a local game store near me, and worked out really nice. And I was able to get cash, so that's always a plus. And we also sold two of our 151 booster bundles, and we also got those at MSRP. And with it being at 150, I feel like it's just a pretty good time to offload anything that you got for MSRP and you 5x. That's kind of my goal, is once it hits 5x, I might as well just unload some of it and take profits while this market is just booming. It's going up. So definitely want to take some profits while the eating's good. And we did end up picking up some product, and I was only planning on picking up one of these Ascended Heroes Elite Trainer boxes. I had one of my Walmart gift cards for $50, so knocked it down to about $50, just because buying on the Walmart website, you're buying it from all the secondary and random sellers on Walmart. But I'll kind of get into details of more why I decided to go with the Ascended Heroes Elite Trainer box later in the video. But I was at Walmart this week shopping, and on top of ordering the one online, I happened upon a restock and walked up, and the lady was just finishing up, and there were three other guys ahead of me, and of course they were going to clear it all out. But I noticed they had a ton of the Ascended Heroes Elite Trainer boxes, so I mentioned to the guys, I was like, oh, I just want one. So they at least let me get one. So we ended up getting two of these Ascended Heroes ETBs, and I snuck by them and actually picked up two of these tech stickers. I got the Sylveon, and then I grabbed Glaceon because Glaceon's one of my favorites. And yeah, happy to pick these up at, well, I don't know if these are like MSRP. MSRP because Walmart's selling stuff a little higher. Like these were $60 in the store even, so can't even get stuff at MSRP at Walmart, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles these days. And we'll kind of get more into the thoughts on Ascended Heroes because I am starting to come around to it, especially with how hot the market is right now. I just think it's your best time to get it. And our portfolio went down a little bit, and that's just because we sold our one Ascended Heroes Elite Trainer box in the Pokemon Center. And I just think right now is a great time. Start selling off some stuff if you have 5x your money, but it's not financial advice. It's just how I see it, where if I 5x on anything, I might as well take some profits. And we'll look at the rest of our collection here and see how things are moving. And it's interesting, our Perfect Order Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box is actually up almost 19%. And I guess the narrative has just changed. I've been hearing a lot more people talking about how Perfect Order isn't going to hit MSRP, it isn't going to go below. So there's kind of this narrative building around it, and you know, the way the hobby's going right now, it's probably true, unfortunately. But I think that you'll at least have a good opportunity to find these on store shelves, or I feel like the Pokemon vending machine isn't going to get completely cleared out of this product, so that's at least a positive. But we still got 2 more weeks, so that's kind of our hope right now, is to be able to find some of this product on the store shelves and get you some product. And I think it'll be fine. You'll definitely be holding it for longer if you're looking to invest, but opening wise, it'd be great to open it up and at least get that fixed there. And here the Ascended Heroes Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box says it's up 6%, but if you actually go on TCG Player, they're well above $300. So this is kind of collector being a little more conservative, which I do like. But if I am looking to sell stuff, I do tend to go to TCG just so that way you get a better idea of the more recent sales. But it's at least nice to be kind of conservative, in my opinion, just so you don't get your hopes too high on some of the pricing there, because it's very fluid right now. And our kind of the same story with the Prismatic Evolutions ETBs, up just over 8%, but a lot of these are selling for over $200, and we'll also kind of dive more into that as well. Our Team Rocket's Moltres UPC up 4.5%. The Charmander promo here up 17%, and that is also benefiting from this set going out of rotation here pretty soon, along with the Snorlax up 36%. And I'm kind of tempted. Let's see, we got this at $17. I mean, we got 2 of them, could end up offloading those here in the next couple of weeks if 151 keeps going up. And I definitely think if it does hit that $100 mark, or at least close to it, I definitely start unloading those. But we'll see. I don't know. It's so hard to tell. I mean, people are really FOMOing into 151. I don't know how long it'll last, and we'll also kind of talk about that a little later in the video too. And some of this other stuff, it's only up like over $1, so nothing too crazy. And the stuff that's down really isn't down too bad. Most everything is up, but like the Mewtwo went down $1, so that could be a good time to look at buying this one, because I know that the Mew is going up. So definitely a good time to pick up the promos from 151, especially with this Mewtwo going down a little bit. It's not the craziest art, but it's 151. The Bulbasaur Mega Evolution box topper is down 10%, so still a good buy, especially underneath $20 being an SIR. I think it's a great pickup, especially that we don't know how much more of the booster boxes we're going to get a Mega. Phantasmal is down $2, so nothing crazy. It's kind of just flatlining. And the Ascended Heroes Elite Trainer Box is down 9%. And let's kind of get into the subject matter of what I'm planning on buying, because with it being down, getting close to being down 10%, like Prismatic here, basically $200. I mean, you can still buy them, invest into them. Where I like to 5x, I mean, do I really want to wait until these hit 1,000 or even put $200 into one box? That's a little too much for me. And I just not comfortable when something like Heroes just came out and it has a lot of good singles in it. So for me, I'm fine with letting the Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes go. And I was going to start pivoting into Surging Sparks Elite Trainer boxes, but they're still just chilling up here at $90. And for me, it's like, I mean, you could get them a little cheaper, but for me, I would just rather go with the Ascended Heroes Elite Trainer boxes. I don't know. There's supposed to be a second wave, but then we got all these Elite Trainer boxes that came out at Walmart, Target. My LGS got some on Friday, so I don't know if these are part of the second wave, and I even asked him, and he didn't really know. So I just feel like if you're in this $80 to $100 mark right now, I would seriously consider picking up the Ascended Heroes, the trainer boxes, especially if it mirrors kind of what Prismatic did. I mean, it barely went under, $90. And I mean, we're already looking at that where it's down 43%. So it really is something that I think is something you should at least consider. I definitely wouldn't go crazy. Like I would buy, if you're like, I really want 6, like maybe you just buy the 6 now or buy 3 now and then wait and see. Or even just buy 1, because that was my biggest regret with Prismatic, is that I waited for so long, so then I never really bought below this mark. So it is in the window of the printing and whatnot, but with Pokemon being so far behind and you got the 30th, I feel like they're going to prioritize the 30th, because I still think that Prismatic, the reason why it's been printed so much is because the rumors are starting to pick up that there could potentially be a new evolution in the upcoming game, and I think that's why Prismatic has just been absolutely blasted, as Pokemon was really trying to push this Eevee kind of theme and Pokemon and leaning into the popularity, just so that way they could possibly push in the new Eevee. And I do think it will probably coincide with a new type, like with Sylveon. When Sylveon first came out, that's when they introduced the fairy typing, and they brought Sylveon along with it. And I think it's a really smart way for Pokemon to introduce more types. So we'll see. But I think that's kind of why Prismatic, people are saying it's going to be printed as heavily. Well, I think there could be a little bit of misdirect, especially because Destined Rivals has not gotten any Elite Trainer box reprints. Obviously, that's a different scenario where it has booster boxes, but they're not even reprinting the booster boxes at this point. So I think this year it's definitely going to be more heavily focused on the 30th, but obviously we'll see. And I think even if they do get a pretty big print on Ascended Heroes, it sounds like people are just going crazy for this set. So there is at least like a lot of sell through. I mean, you can see here, 1,000, 900, over 700. So we're just going through so much of this product. And it wouldn't be a video if we didn't, or an investing one at least, without talking about 151. We talked about this, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, that 151 was ready to go, ready to blow up, and here we are. And I'm probably looking to sell. I have a Bulbasaur that I pulled And it looks like it's pretty much $100, so I'm probably going to sell that this week. I also have my Charizard Ultra Rare and my Blastoise, and I think these, maybe not the Blastoise, but I do think the Charizard could hit $80 to $100, and I might sell it then. But we'll see. I don't know how high it'll go, because there's got to be just so many of these. So it might end up being a graded play. Grade the Charizard and the Blastoise, maybe move it then. But we'll see. The Bulbasaur, though, I mean, it's an IR, and once it hits $100 as an IR, I'm selling that because I'd rather buy the Blastoise from 151 in Korean. So probably what I'm going to end up doing, either selling it or maybe I'll trade it for something else. We'll see. And I think this week or next week we are definitely going to be seeing the Ninja Spinner pre-release on Pokemon Center. So have your heads up, ready for that this week and next week. We got some more of the previews. So pack art's pretty cool. We also saw this Ampharos and this Tauros, and I actually really like these more than probably all of the cards from Perfect Order. So that's kind of my thought process of why I skipped most of the Perfect Order stuff besides the PC ETBs. So I think this Ninja Spinner one is going to be a lot better. So I might actually end up buying the booster box, especially since I just sold some product off. Now I kind of have a little more funds that I could do that. I'm also kind of just waiting to see what the Mega Rayquaza set. So we'll see. And like we were talking about earlier, the narrative's shifting on Perfect Order. We can see that the booster boxes are up over 20%. So pretty crazy that kind of turns stuff around. But we'll obviously wait and see what ended up happening on release day, if those hold up or if it drops down to 200. Same with Perfect Order, Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, up almost 20%. So the craziness just continues, and it's starting to affect just everything. And man, I just don't know. And $94 just for the regular Elite Trainer boxes, but I think those will definitely drop down to the $60, $70 range. And I think if you're looking to invest, I mean, really, I don't know. I just, I would consider it more being I'll buy it for the collection and see what it does. So I wouldn't go too heavily into it, but if you're picking it up for MSRP, might as well. And the last thing I wanted to go over was, I think now with 151 kind of starting to balloon out of control, almost kind of feels like that. I think Paldean Fates is the next set that's kind of set up to go on a big run. If we look at the Mew here, it's up 11%, and we saw it come down here, but now we're starting to see this huge spike. So I think it could be this week or next week. I think we're going to see Paldean Fates really go on a big tear here, and we can even see it here with the Elite Trainer box. You're just starting to see this really sharp upturn tick. So I think people have already started to pivot, and they're starting to move into Paldean Fates, and I think this Charizard is one that's like very underrated. I mean, look how much it dropped down. So you're almost down $100 since our little crash there. But I think this one's going to pop right back up, especially with 151 Charizard taking off like it did. So that'd be kind of my play right now if you're really looking to get in before stuff kind of goes crazy, is I think that Paldean Fates is definitely in that position to be the next product to run up. So yeah, I think right now is a good time to start taking some profits, and you guys should really maybe not sell like a ton, at least kind of figure out a strategy and what you guys think works best for you, what your exit route is, and how you're going to end up selling this someday. And for me, I'm going more the LGS route at probably about like 75%, just because I like the idea of helping out another business owner and help him be able to get product to customers. And let me know what you guys plan on doing when it comes to selling, and even when it comes to buying. What are you guys buying? Do you guys think Ascended Heroes is a good buy now, or are you gonna wait? So it's only seems like things are gonna keep going up, and we'll definitely see next week if 151 continues to go up. And you guys have a good week, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.